3.
Please.
All right, sorry.
Go
ahead.
3, 2, 1. What are we? Some kind of Wendy and Lucy 2008? That was a quote from Evil Dead. And this is Adam. This is a podcast called Sardonicast. I'm Adam from Your Movie Sucks. Hello, everybody. Hi, who else?
I'm Ralph from Ralph the Movie Maker.
And I'm Alex from HE. Chaotic intro, but that's not all. Got a guest here today. Do you want to introduce yourself?
My name is Karsten Runquist, and yeah, good to be here. It's pretty surreal, to be honest.
Oh
yeah?
Surreal?
I remember like 3 years ago, someone sent me like I think the podcast was still very new, but someone made like a parody of this podcast with like them doing impressions.
Liam.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I was the guest on the fake version of this, and so it's an honor to be on the real
really?
one.
I forgot about that video. That's a great video.
Life imitates art.
Yeah.
So we've actually we met IRL at TIFF. Very briefly.
Right, yeah.
It was between movies. I had barely gotten any sleep, I think. My parents were in the Airbnb or condo or whatever. And
Right.
the Queen had died, and they were just playing that nonstop on Canadian television, and my dad was like just being pissed off that they wouldn't shut up about it.
That was a really crazy like hour that we spent together, because I was like, we like didn't watch any movies. We just kind of hung out in the Airbnb and watched that. And I was like, this is great.
Listen to my dad complain about the Queen coverage and just like, wow, shut up.
Yeah.
Still a fresh wound over here, man.
Yeah, it's still going. It still hurts.
No, it was great. We also met, I think, in like 2019 at TIFF before we saw Parasite together, which was pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, and we almost met at Cannes, which would have been even cooler.
We were almost there at the same time, but weren't.
Yeah.
The interactions, the social interactions that I remember with people the most are ones where I'm not watching movies with them. I find that if I'm watching a movie with somebody, my memories are about the movie. And then every like this happens like 100 times a year where I'll be like, oh, have you seen this movie? And then they'll be like, yeah, I saw it with you in a theater. I'm like, oh, oops. Oops, sorry. I don't know which movies I've seen with which people, actually. No comprehension. Yeah. Because some movies I'll see more than once. I was telling Scott, I was like, Scott, have you seen The Climb? Because I remembered watching it at Sundance. And then I forgot I also watched it at TIFF with him.
Right.
So as a festival goer, what is your favorite film festival?
I mean, I really like TIFF, to be honest. It's Cannes is the obvious one, but TIFF just feels a little bit more accessible.
Way more. It's more fun.
Yeah. It's a lot looser. Cannes, I'm always like a little bit on edge.
Yeah.
Because you have to like.
Really, what do you mean? Like, how's it more accessible?
TIFF is something you can access as like the public. Cannes is invite only. Yeah. And you're spending the entire festival scared that someone will take away your badge if you like look at someone the wrong way.
Right. I got lucky enough to get a ticket to one of the premieres. It was the Gaspar Noé movie that was there that year. Yeah. And I remember for the premieres, you have to like wear suit and tie.
Black tie. Very strict.
Black tie, sorry. And but I think because it was like a midnight Gaspar Noé movie, they were being a little bit chill about it, but still I was like on edge the entire time I was in line. And TIFF, you could just show up sometimes and you're good.
It's like the main theater at Cannes where they have where you see the footage of like the 8-hour standing ovation for the new Tarantino film or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So everybody's dressed really fancy, and it's all just about the media buzz there, right? Like the standing ovations, that's not because people liked the movie that much. It's because half the crowd is people who worked on it and they want to get the press, right?
Exactly. So, yeah.
With TIFF, it's way more public centric, and it's still everybody that's there is still interested in movies. Sure, you'll get like the odd person every once in a while that's like, okay, who brought you here? Like, you're not paying attention to the movie, put away your phone. But like, for the most part, the most respectful, quiet, serious audience, and there's no gatekeeping about it. There's no like, oh, you can't attend this film. Like, it's accessible to the public. They serve popcorn and drinks,
right?
You know?
Yeah. I've had like hot dogs.
At Cannes, there's like nothing.
Yeah. It's
Nice.
weird.
A lot of those, when I was at Cannes, the pop-up little theaters, they didn't serve any food, no popcorn, no drinks at all. You just had to make sure you had a water bottle on you. And there was nowhere to use the bathroom. And if you exited the theater, you wouldn't be able to get back in. So like, you were locked in and you were like, I hope you don't have to piss.
Right.
Yeah.
That's stressful.
Yeah.
They also like, they let at least for the premieres, they let the massive line of audience members in first, and then you have to like sit there for sometimes like an hour tops while they do the whole red carpet thing for and you just like watch them on the theater screen walk in. It's like a weird vibe.
I mean, Cannes has definitely, earned its place as the most prestigious film festival. It's very serious business, and it's very industry focused. But TIFF is my favorite film festival because I can bring other people to it, and have fun with other people in my life that I enjoy, and have like a chill day and see a bit of Toronto.
I see the best movies at TIFF too. I feel like by then the stuff, they kind of like weed out a lot of the worst stuff from Cannes, and you just get the hits most of the time.
Even if they do have most of what premieres at Cannes, you know enough about the movie and its reception by the time that it's at TIFF. Whereas at Cannes, every single movie is a premiere. Nothing has a trailer. Half of them are from people who have never directed anything before, and so you're kind of just walking in like, I hope this movie's kind of good. Like you're the ones creating the buzz at Cannes, whereas at TIFF you're able to be like, okay, I know a little bit about how this was received, what to expect, who directed it, what awards it won at Cannes, what it didn't win, how, and then you're able to make more informed decisions. But at Cannes, it's like, I don't know how many movies I want to see at Cannes without fully knowing what I'm getting into,
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So go to TIFF if you're going to go to a festival.
The best film festival experiences are ones where like a little bit about what you want to watch. And not just pick random movies.
That's why Sundance is especially tough, because that's like mostly first-time directors, and my track record with Sundance is so bad. I usually get all the misses and like one hit if I go. It's so bad.
I don't want to shit on Sundance too hard, but like it's just it's at a weird point in the year. It's in like January or something, right? And so like everything is trying to be a premiere, essentially. Sometimes they'll have things from the previous year that were at like TIFF or something sometimes. But a lot of these are like first-time directors, and the festival is very like American indie focused compared to a lot of other festivals. And to be fair, TIFF has, an overabundance of Canadian independent filmmakers, right?
Right.
But I don't know. The American indie ones, I mean, you could say this about Canadian ones too, but there's something that like is very parody worthy about those films where like I think there was a YouTube video that was like every Sundance film and then just made like a fake trailer sort of thing. I wouldn't say that was like entirely accurate, but there is definitely a type for like American
Absolutely.
indie.
Very crowd pleasy.
Yeah, that's the word.
Straight to Hulu type.
Yeah, it's no shit Coda won the audience award at Sundance, It's like, of course, that's a very Sundance-y movie for it to win.
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah.
Y'all, other guests got some questions for the guest? I mean, other hosts got a question. You're not guests. I'm the only host.
I'm a guest, yeah.
No, I got to mention the letterbox thing, right? All of us except Adam, I think, are big like Letterboxd fans, but I kind of consider you the king of Letterboxd. Like, you've got an incredibly large following on there. Like,
I didn't know.
It's your secret. You're like a Letterboxd min-maxer. Like, all we see in your reviews, like at the top there.
I didn't know we had a celebrity here.
A Letterboxd celebrity.
I really don't know how it got to this point. To be honest, it's not even that great of a thing. Like, because like you said, yeah, anybody that sees or like looks up a movie that I've seen, usually I'm like the top review, and I don't write these reviews with that in mind. So a lot of the time they're like, what the why is this guy at the top of all the reviews? Because most of my reviews are just like one-line jokes. Like
that's
like
what sells on
Yeah, he's using it as a log.
That's exactly what sells.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's like how I use the, because it's like if I want to write an actual review, I have my channel and stuff, but I really just use the site to like keep track of what I'm watching and as like a public diary. So I don't take it that seriously, which is why it's really bizarre that I'm the most followed.
Yeah. Do you even like look at the comments and stuff like that? Because I don't use it that way. Like,
I turned off my comments like a long time ago. Yeah.
They are particularly bad on Letterboxd.
Yeah.
There's something about it.
Oh, hell yeah.
I turned them off. Yeah.
It's so bad.
I'm glad to hear that you don't take it very seriously and that you're killing it. Because there's a lot of people on Letterboxd that are trying to replicate that exact same sort of success by being like,
right.
how can I make the most
so
like
lame.
simplistic tweet about the film that's kind of funny, that doesn't really say anything about how I really felt about it and isn't really serious, just to get the attention. Like that's what kind of turns me away from it, is because it's like more of a social media website than like a film logging website.
Yeah.
Is I'm just like, I'm not interested in the like attention.
Yeah, that's why I don't take the ratings on there like very seriously, because it's like a lot of like joke reviews.
Exactly. Yeah.
But like, I was just going to say, like, seeing your success in it made me want to use it more. I'm like, oh, let me use this more. And yeah, I've had some like success on there too because of that. Well, it's like, oh, it's mainly because of Karsten. And I'm like, oh yeah, this works. Like, yeah,
it's super fun.
Yeah. Just don't look at the comments. That's all.
Yeah, and even
really
like
fun. I like it.
Yeah, and even like the YouTube reviews too. Like it inspired me to make more of those. And I'm like, oh yeah, these work too. It's just like talking about the movie like normally. Yeah, I feel like the whole shtick of like, you know, like you doing a character or whatever, like to make like reviewing movies ironically, I feel like that's kind of like died out. Now people just like, I just kind of like want to actually hear like what people think about movies, like, you know, like Cosmonaut and like Karsten, you know, like that kind of thing. It's just like more honest. Yeah. Like even if you're jokey, it's like, you know, you're not putting on a character or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know?
I think I think you guys have had him on the podcast, but Joel Haver, he has a great account. His are like, they don't take themselves too seriously, but they're always like very like personal reviews. I think he
thoughtful as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Very thoughtful.
He's a very authentic and earnest person.
Absolutely.
Yeah, a lot of filmmakers on there too, like Sean Baker and you know, actors on there, like the guy from Deadwood. I'm blanking on his name right now, but you know, there's like all kinds of actors and it's great.
Uwe Boll back in the day.
I think Jerry Seinfeld's daughter follows me, which is like one of my funniest, like the one sort of celebrity.
How did you even figure that out?
I think someone pointed out, they're like, I follow her and I saw she follows you, and I'm like, wow, that's pretty crazy, I guess.
So, Karsten.
Yeah.
When were we getting Cars 11?
Nice.
One
good
day.
one.
I'm sorry. All right. Alex, you asked a real question.
I love it.
Hey, you're on fire today.
I quit.
You're on fire today.
But by the way, the guy's name is Jim Beaver, the guy from Deadwood.
Okay.
Jim Beaver.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah. Cars 11. That was a good one.
Thank you.
My a running bit on my channel is that I'm like waiting for them to make a 10th Cars movie.
Yeah.
Cars 10, you know.
They better.
Cars X. Yeah.
Yeah. One day.
It's about family. Alex, did you have a question?
Yeah, it's about family.
I don't know. Ralph, do you have anything else to throw out there? I really want to get into Spider.
Right.
Yeah, but I guess I just wanted to say, like, congrats on your movie, Karsten, also.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
It was like, I think when I was on your podcast last year, you were like, had it in festivals or whatever. And
yeah.
But now people have like seen it. But I think that's great that you went the festival route with it. Because I know like many people are afraid to do that because they think their movie will get like rejected or whatever. But I'm glad you went the route with it. I feel like that's really cool. Like that's like that's like a great thing to do.
Thank you. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. We got rejected to so many festivals. I mean,
yeah, that happens. Yeah.
But
that's, It's fine.
It's still
like
you can always find one.
Yeah, right. We had some success.
There's if you look obscure enough festivals, you'll always find
the
one.
fact that you even like tried that and got it out there. I feel like adds like a lot of like legitimacy to your work, you know. And I feel like a lot of filmmakers online don't even try to do that, but they should. They should trying to do that because I've done that too. I've had success with it.
Right.
You know, I feel like it's a great thing to do.
I had mixed feelings about it because, yeah, I mean, I look at people like you and Joel, and it's like so many. I mean, if you have a platform on YouTube, you might as well just put it right on YouTube. And I was like, why am I even doing? Because like the point of festivals is, I guess, to like get more eyes on it, and I guess that was a big draw. As I was like, it would be nice.
It's a type of eye.
Yeah. I was like, it'd be nice to show this to people that aren't my audience, because I feel like if you show it to your audience, they'll just eat it up. And I'm like, I want a more honest reaction, I guess. But yeah, it definitely, when I was doing it, felt very old school, weirdly, because I was like, I could just put this on YouTube and be done with it, but I think it was a really beneficial experience, and I learned a lot from the process. So
it definitely gives you more credibility, I feel.
Also,
Definitely,
the industry people are at festivals. If you want to further
you make a lot of good
platform and
connections,
career and make connections, and who knows, maybe you'll meet someone that will help you on your next film. Who knows, maybe you'll meet a good collaborator or someone willing to put money into it, you know, like or distribute it even, you know. That's what the festival route is for, and you're missing that when you publish solely on YouTube.
Right. It sort of just like sits there when you put it on YouTube. I mean, like people watch it, but I think with the festival thing, there's like the networking and like the Q&A, and it's like a special experience.
And not to say that there aren't industry people watching things on YouTube, but like there's no it's not the setting to be reaching out and connecting. Like you would just have to hope that someone watching it just feels like contacting your email or whatever, you know. Whereas the implication at a festival is that you're there to do like actual business.
For sure. Yeah. It's just different. I mean, it depends on the movie. I would probably do it again, but yeah, I totally understand why so many people just put their stuff right to YouTube, because I'm like, yeah, I don't know. It just depends on how you want to go about it.
It's quite a process. Yeah, it's like it takes a long time. That's mainly it. It's like you have your movie done and you have to wait like 8 months for like anyone to see it.
Yeah,
it's like,
that was the worst part.
And then like weird rules about like how much of it was published before, and like you can't just put it on YouTube and then a festival.
Exactly. Yeah, it's annoying.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of Letterboxd 5 minutes ago, the top rated movie of all time on Letterboxd is the new Spider-Verse movie.
True.
Yeah. Is there a term for like the opposite of review bombing?
It's still, I don't know if bombing is necessarily a negative implication.
No,
I think you can
so
bomb
it's just
it.
It's review bombing in the positive way,
I guess.
Yeah.
Really, I don't know.
I think people just liked it though.
I feel like bombing is, I don't know, it's kind of scary imagery.
It's pretty crazy.
Bombing.
What about a love bomb?
Okay, yeah, love bomb.
Yeah. We should review bomb Oppenheimer, was my joke.
God.
But I'm not gonna.
Ooh, nice.
Oh, yeah.
I'll fire this episode.
Yeah, lots of good ones.
Yeah, you got that. I don't know.
No.
If you want,
No, that was too good.
I saw a tweet that was like, we should let. Never mind. I'm gonna.
Oh, damn it! Well, you gotta post the tweet in our Discord then. Post it in the chat.
See how hard it is? Like once you're here, people give me shit. But like once you're actually like in this zone, it's hard to like I get all anxious too. Yeah. I like cry before each episode. I'm so anxious.
Tears of joy, I would imagine.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So let me just say, Spider-Verse, it would have been great if I could hear it.
Yeah.
If I could hear any of the dialogue. Then it would have been great.
Yeah.
But I couldn't hear anything.
The whole movie?
Really? Was it that bad for you?
I feel like it got better as the movie went along, but like I was just thinking at the beginning when Gwen's doing like her drum solo or whatever, I'm like I had no idea what she was saying in that scene. Yeah. I'm like, what the hell's going on? Is this the theater? Maybe if I saw an RPX, it would have been better.
It was apparently a bad copy.
Yeah.
It's they're shipping out new copies of the film, so certain theaters got like an incorrect, like I don't know if it was an earlier copy or I don't know what the fuck their excuse was, but they a lot of theaters had
that's
bad
pretty
sound.
Crazy.
And I also experienced bad sound.
Yeah, the audio seemed unfinished in the early scenes. I've seen it twice though, and the first viewing, I was noticing the weird kind of mixing problems, and there was something off about it. But only just the beginning section. But then when I saw it at a different theater, different day, I really didn't notice as many problems, so it must be a case-by-case thing, and I guess it's solved now with the new version of it.
Yeah, I want to see it
You
again.
can call your theater and ask if they've have the good version, and they'll know.
Right.
Which is funny.
The patched version.
Like it was a big thing. They got the memo for sure. They got like an email.
Yeah. Yeah, that was crazy because it kind of ruined my experience of the movie. I mean, not entirely, but I wish I'd seen it with like better sound.
It was distracting. I don't know if it got, like you were saying, Ralph, I don't know if it got better, if I just got like used to it, and it was just kind of off the entire, like you could hear people like eating their popcorn, and it like really took me out of the movie.
Yeah, it was too soft. It was like too low. You know, it was just like, it was hard to hear at points.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. But still a pretty good movie. All things
I
considered.
liked it a lot.
I enjoyed it.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Man, I fucking love this movie, man. This was made for me.
Yeah.
This is me all over.
Good.
Man, where to even begin? It's so like maximalist. It's so visually kind of noisy in the best way possible. I honestly don't even feel like you've seen it until you've seen it a second time.
Mm-hmm.
It feels, and it's so like quick, even though it's like 2 hours 20. It honestly feels like an hour long to me.
Mm-hmm.
It just flies by. Just all this different art styles. Just a true sequel as well. You know, it doesn't feel like a repeat of that original movie. It feels like a true like extension, a real, like it's expanding on the characters. It's continuing on in the way you want to see, and really fleshing out those characters, and just every angle they chose to approach, like kind of making it a Gwen movie. So we have to address the part 1, part 2 thing, because like I watched your quickie, Adam. You mentioned like towards the end, it's like so many strings are like being set up, and you're like, there's no way this can wrap up in one movie. Like this doesn't make sense. The new doors are being open right now. Yeah, this doesn't make sense. And I had the same feeling when I was watching it that first time. And and when it cut to be continued, my audience did groan. They were like, "What? No!" Like it was an audible reaction. So I guess people didn't fully know, and I only kind of half knew.
If I knew, I forgot.
Weird, and it does. it leaves you in a weird place, doesn't it? Because it's the Dune problem, where I love the movie, but I feel like I've got to hold back some of my full thoughts because we've only got half the story in a way. Like there's so much more to get.
The only reason I feel that way about Dune is because I wasn't fully into Dune, and I was like, well, maybe this in context with the next part will help me enjoy it more, and I'm giving it a bit of credit, right? Whereas this, something like Spider-Verse 2 or something like Kill Bill Volume 1, where it's like, I love the core experience of that film on its own enough that it's not really dependent on what happens next. And no matter what happens next, it's not going to make me go like, oh, well, then this movie is worse because of it, right? I don't think
and it does actually feel more complete than Dune. I do think there are like arcs that are completed. There is, I mean, it's like Empire. I don't really like the movie that follows it as much, but I'll watch Empire again and again.
True. And like it's almost like an Avengers Infinity War type ending, where it like leaves you on that cliffhanger, ends on kind of a dark note.
Kind of, but even Infinity War had like a winding down before the credits, not just like
I meant like that's like that's like a part 1, part 2 also.
That's like an ending of a trailer.
I liked how the movie started, like the focus on Gwen, like that was different, like focusing on her. I thought it was like a good way to spice it up, and then like it cut to Miles later on. I enjoyed that. There's a lot of like good decisions with like the storytelling in it, and lots of fun characters. Lots of like the different versions of Spider-Man were funny. The Lego Spider-Man, that was great.
Spoilers.
One of our best.
Spoiler discussion, everybody.
Well, well, like the references, like because I think Phil Lord, Chris Miller did the Lego movie, right? And they were like producers on this.
True.
So that was like fun little reference to that.
They wrote the script too.
I think.
Lord and Miller, like we really got to throw my hats out to them, because we're so often complaining about this like annoying meta self-aware kind of writing that's like this really lazy shorthand that so many movies fall into, but I feel like they always find the like just the right level where it's like, yeah, there is some self-awareness to it. The jokes are kind of meta and breaking the fourth wall, but the characters are consistent. There are emotional moments, and you are emotionally attached to what is going on in the film. It doesn't destroy it. All the way down to the motivation of the Miguel character, who's kind of like, I love this detail. He's kind of like an obsessed Spider-Man fan. It's kind of like pointing directly at those types of fans. You know, the canon event thing. It's all about these people who are so obsessed with these really rigid kind of constraints that, especially these big IP characters like Spider-Man, kind of come with, you know, all this baggage. I love kind of framing that villain with that kind of motivation, but not making it so obvious that it pulls you out of the movie.
That's great.
Right.
And man, the other villainous force, this Spot character, I'd never heard of this guy before, and I think he's like Z-list Spider-Man character. I don't think anyone.
Yeah, that's like kind of the joke. I think. Yeah, it's like he's so obscure.
Yeah, exactly. But they made that his motivation. Like, he doesn't want to be how do they phrase it? The not the creature of the week, the villain of the week. Yeah, but it's mostly that voice and the
Jason Schwartzman.
The visuals. Yeah, because it really, like, you don't expect it, because it does open like, you know, any number of superhero movies. We have the throwaway character at the beginning, just introducing the tone with the fight scene and everything. But it just continues to escalate, and it's like such a great idea for a villain to take. Yeah, this lame kind of dorky, visually and everything, down to the powers is even like comedic, and all of it is comedic. But just the escalation over, and by the time the movie ends, he's this genuine threat, and what's foreshadowed with what he's probably gonna do is like really menacing and threatening. And especially that visual design. I love his like lanky gangly thing with that hole right in the middle of his face, and the kind of these edgy hole jokes. Stop joking about the holes. Just a really clever, cool villain. I can't get over that visual design of him. I thought that was like just like the stuff I used to draw when I was like a teenager. I love this kind of stuff, and man, just visually, artistically, it's so ambitious. I think it's got like 6 different art styles, art directions throughout the whole movie, with all these different universes, like the interpretive kind of stuff with whenever it's in Gwen's universe, and the Spider-Punk stuff. The like, man, I just can't stop gushing about the visuals of this movie. I even found, like, if we want to talk about that Spider-Punk character that I think people are really gravitating towards, he's a British Spider-Man, so of course. Did you guys actually have any issue understanding him? Because I heard some complaints about
I did,
because he's got quite a strong like British accent, like a London accent.
A couple parts, but I was very proud of myself overall.
I mean, the sound mix
Really,
didn't help with that. I feel like I got some of it.
Yeah, true. I do wish there were subtitles, but he has some great lines. He has some really funny lines. It's kind of, again, like riding the line of like, he's kind of like a parody of that type of person, but he also just has some straight up great lines. The hate the AM, hate the PM one is a particular standout to me. Really funny. But yeah, I found one of the animators who worked on that character, Hobie, and just like him detailing like how many layers that character just on his own was made up of. Like, listen to this, right? So the character's body was animated on 3s, meaning every 3 frames. And then his guitar was on 4s, outline on 2s. And then, so it's like, it's all these different like styles, and God, it's so complicated.
Yeah, it's really cool.
It doesn't distract. It really, like, just the whole framing, like, just really works. You're never pulled out. It's really quite a feat, because it really could clash if it wasn't like expert animators bringing this all together. Because we haven't really talked about this. There's 3 directors working on this. And they're all like pretty storied. They got big, like, fat IMDb's, loads of credits. We're talking, one of the directors worked on Last Airbender, amazing cartoon back in the day. Then you have the director and writer of Soul. I know you didn't like it, Adam, but I feel like emotionally that film works really well, and that kind of translates into
Soul
this.
was great.
He also wrote One Night in Miami, which is another kind of really thoughtful film. And then you got the production designer of Cloudy the Chance of Meatballs, who's also this He's a prolific background design artist from that awesome Tartovsky Clone Wars and the Buzz Lightyear Star Command. So it's like just this storied animators all coming together to this like super ambitious project that's like pushing everything in the medium. And it's like, as far as American animation is concerned, like I don't know if there's better than this.
Yeah. In this
genuinely
day, at this day and age, especially
with like characters designs this good, with writing this good, with just every single element is just so perfect.
Yeah, I think it's kind of funny that Elemental is dropping the same month, and then like next month I think is some DreamWorks film, I forget, but they're both like
Squid movie.
Yeah, it's both just like these like blobby, like
a real who gives a shit.
Yeah, it just looks so bad coming up to this. Like,
yeah, I'm glad you brought those up because it's like nothing special. It's like they've been making the same movie for like 10 years, and this is it's so fresh, feels so original.
Yeah,
Daniel Kaluuya too is the Spider-Punk guy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was great.
Mm-hmm.
Like the whole cast, Oscar Isaac is the Miguel, and it's like really solid cast of actors. The animation's gorgeous. It's really funny. Yeah, I don't think it gets much better than this. I mean, I don't know. You think Boss Baby's better? Actually, they might actually be better. Boss Baby.
Yeah,
maybe a bit more hilarious.
We're talking about the sequel.
Maybe a bit more Kino.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's brought up this conversation about superhero fatigue, and it's like, maybe that's not a thing. Maybe it's just we want movies that are interesting.
Maybe the movies are bad.
Right.
No one's thought of that before.
They just released 2 good ones in a row, and people are like, okay, we're fine with this. Cool.
Also, like, there's if we're going to talk about like what they're doing that's making it successful, is sure they're taking from existing characters, but like you mentioned with this Spot character who, I've never heard of before as a not obsessive comic book person. It's pretty much what James Gunn did. It's what a lot of the successful superhero creators, directors have done. Is they haven't just gone like, what's something that's already successful? Like, let's do Joker again. We'll make it Jared Leto this time. They don't just go like, what's something that somebody else has already done? There's this entire wealth, this entire catalog where like, sure, just because this character isn't universally beloved and you can't create hype in the trailer of like, they're finally bringing this character to the screen. Like, that's already been done with every character that everybody cares about. Take from the characters that people don't know about. And you can even if something doesn't work about them in the comics, you can turn it into your own thing. You have creative liberties to make it better and fix what doesn't work about it. So like they saw something that had a lot of potential. They were like, we can have some really funny, entertaining fight scenes with this character. We can play on the fact that it's a bit of a joke, but we can still make it intimidating and have it be a good villain, right? So superhero fatigue, you're exactly right. It's mostly just, the movies are bad. And everybody's exhausted by the bad movies.
Yeah. I think the same can be said about like the multiverse thing, because I feel like I've personally gotten a little exhausted with that, and I was like genuinely surprised at how well this pulled it off, because it didn't feel like they didn't use it the same way Marvel has been using it, where they just kind of Marvel just uses that to keep things going and like give like fan service, and it felt like they actually used dispenser. Right. It's like used in the plot properly in this film, and like visually seeing all the Spider-Mans, it's like they understand the the potential that something like this has to actually look really cool. I was just surprised at how well it worked for me.
No one's ever really gone.
Yeah, they always find like the emotional angle.
Yeah.
Like that whole montage where they're going through the canon events, like outside of the kind of commentary of that, it's just an effective scene, and it's great motivation, all building up to that choice Miles has to make, and like the most Spider-Man thing ever. Him, like, of course he's not going to sacrifice his dad, and that chase scene is incredible. Like, apparently it took them 4 years to like organize and animate that, and it's just so many character models. There's so many.
It's insane,
man, and they're all like, all the character designs are fantastic. It's it's beautiful to watch.
The budget at Sony went up. Only 100 million? I would have assumed more, actually. Wow.
That's another funny thing. Like, I know it's not. I think it's only about 10 million more than the first movie.
That's fucking insane.
Which is really respectable, incredibly
it's
respectable.
Like way like the visuals on this are like insanely. Well, I guess they get to reuse some assets from the first one, but it's not like that much.
No, I was looking at like an old trailer for the first one, and I was actually surprised at how different this new one looks than that, because that had like that sort of like 3D like comic book style, and this
the print
barely has that. Which kind of also surprised me how different the visual style was.
It was almost like a filter over the first movie, like the whole thing.
I did rewatch the first movie like a week ago.
You hate it now?
And no, I actually do think it's better overall. The animation and visuals are better in Across the Spider-Verse, but
I probably agree with you, Alex.
I think it's just more complete. I think it's I don't know, there's just something about it, the way it comes together. It just feels like a better crescendo, a better story for Miles. The hero moment he gets at the end where he jumps off the tower, and that whole arc is just so satisfying. And I just really like the dynamic between Peter B. Parker and Miles as well in that movie. The characters are really good. The humor works really well.
Yeah.
But it is pretty close to me.
I heard that by making him carry a baby in this movie, the writers were trying to say that men are bad.
Emasculated?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh, dear.
Because he's the only male character in the movie. Sorry, white. Yeah. White male. That white men are
People
bad.
are complaining this one is too woke or whatever. Whatever that means. Yeah. With like Spider-Man.
I didn't think anything was too woke, and then they made every character in this movie trans. So now I'm just, I don't know. They might have gotten a bit too far.
Just wait till the next movie.
Yeah. Then everyone's non-binary.
Yeah, that'll be the next.
It's so insane because like if you like the first movie, but then this one is suddenly too woke for you. It's like, what? Like, were you paying attention?
Right.
Yeah.
Are your eyes even open? The whole point of this was to kind of take it away from being associated with one character. Anyone can wear the mask. That's like one of the main ongoing themes with these movies.
Yeah. I think it's just kind of reflexive at this point. When you're a hammer, everything's a nail.
Yeah, they don't know what they're on about. They actually don't know what it's just brain rot. What are you? Just shut up.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you are right. It's fucking, it's stupid.
I loved the animation with Gwen's intro. That really made up for the sound mixing. But I loved what was going on there. I thought that visually, like, just everything was turned up to 11 for this movie. It crossed the barrier as to just allowing me to just soak it in and be like, wow, this is a really fun visual treat. And I loved the 2D boss she was fighting. And I have to imagine, the
Renaissance Vulture,
the amount of layers in that as well. The amount of different animators working on that character, because that was pulled off really well. That was a fun thing to sort of just pick apart in my brain and try to think about. Yeah, I thought that this film, in terms of what it offers to me, both in style and tone and pacing and even humor, was just so much better than the first film for me. Like it was like, okay, this is my Spider-Man now. Now I get some. And the pacing is just like, once it starts, it just doesn't stop. And I love movies like that where it's like, if there's any downtime, it's brief, and it really just feels like, oh wow, like the stakes are raising, the action is getting more and more intense. It doesn't slow down. You don't feel this sort of like, oh, why is this scene happening? Everything just kind of makes sense.
Yeah, it's a 2.5 hour. It's a 2.5 hour long movie, and it basically flew by for me. Yeah, it's really tight.
I was wondering what you guys thought about the music in this one compared to the first one, because I thought it worked a lot better this time around than the first time for me.
Less licensed music.
The licensed music or the original score, because the original score, I'm obsessed with it. It's Daniel Pemberton, I think his name is. It's incredible. I love all the leitmotifs all these character has. It's like it's seeping into memes as well, right? The Miguel like theme whenever he's on screen, kind of like Prowler in that first movie. He's got that really recognizable little like sting,
right?
And it's really effective. It really is engaging and makes these characters have a particular presence, when they're on screen.
Yeah. I probably prefer like the music in this one, honestly. Even though that's probably like my one thing with the first movie. It's like the licensed music's a little too much at certain points.
Yeah.
But that wasn't like a major criticism for me. It was more like a nitpick. But I thought the music...
Yeah, same.
The original score in both is great, I think. Yeah, it's just the licensed music.
Yeah.
If you want to have a playlist movie, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, there's tons of... Every Quentin Tarantino movie is a playlist movie, right? It's his playlist.
Yeah,
he's putting
Goodfellas. Goodfellas is like a playlist movie.
But he puts a lot of thought... He thinks about what songs he wants to use before throwing them in the movie. Whereas the first Spider-Verse, it felt like they were just trying to include, like, a lot of artists for cross-promotion. Remember, it's a Sony film. They're going to throw in a lot of... Even in this one, it's like, the Sony headphones, blah, blah, blah. You can notice it. But in the first film, it kind of felt like, okay, how many of these artists are signed to Sony Records? Like, it really just felt like they were just throwing in a bunch of artists and it didn't really matter. Like Lil Wayne, Jaden Smith. Like, there was a...
Yeah.
There was a scene that was, I'll always remember this. There was a scene that was supposed to be like emotionally sad, and just the song that they chose over top of it was so cheesy and so insincere in its emotions that it took away from the character moment in the film. Whereas I never felt that way about this newest film. That was something that really... it just didn't gel with me in the first film.
That's early in the first one when the Spider-Man dies.
Yeah.
That's right.
It was just...
not the best song choice.
Yeah. Could have been better.
It feels like it's like fighting the actual movie for attention. Like the music seems to like take over a bit in that first one, whereas it kind of lives in the world in this movie. And I'm like, that seems
complimentary.
It seems like the kind of thing that the characters would be listening to in these scenes, and just feels right. Yeah.
Yeah, throw in as much licensed music as you want. Just have it be purposeful and have it gel with the film and not clash.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you mentioned Sony, right? This is kind of my biggest problem with this movie, right? Is feeling this...
The overlords.
For the original, I don't think they knew what they had on their hands quite as much with that original. Whereas this one, I feel like there's a little bit of tinkering. I can't with the Venom thing. Of like, why did they have to reference Venom? I don't want to be...
Oh, I forgot about that.
Oh, yeah, with the convenience store. Yeah.
I was listening to a review, like someone else on YouTube had like made for this movie, and they were talking about this film as if it sits in the MCU because like the Donald Glover like reference and stuff, and it's like, this is everything I want this to be its own thing. God,
no,
please, why do you have to?
Honestly, probably why they canonized
like
Garfield and Maguire, right? That's honestly probably exactly why.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas I don't feel like I felt that in that first movie. That was the only time I was kind of pulled out, was that even though it's like for a few seconds, that Venom reference that felt like 10 minutes long to me. Like I don't want to be reminded of that movie. It's not like a fun reference to
What
me.
exactly happened with the Venom reference?
Spot is like, it's when he goes inside himself, and then he figures out he can go through to like any dimension on his own. And then he goes to the shop from Venom with that lady.
I forgot that's what it was from.
Yeah, as an excruciating little reference.
That's very funny.
And then there's the multiple references to, there's Donald Glover in there. There's
what was Donald Glover from that in the MCU? What did he do?
He is in Spider-Man Homecoming, right? As the Prowler. There's like allusions in his dialogue that he's the Prowler.
That.
For that to be not even in my memory, like this is new information for me. Holy shit. Homecoming was so boring.
Yeah, it was unfortunate, that stuff to me, the need to shove that in, because it's like the celebration of the character. Like, that's what was so good about that original movie to me, was they create this new Spider-Man voiced by Chris Pine, who's kind of an amalgamation of all the stuff they do the references to the Raimi movies, to the stuff the Spider-Man 3 gags and whatnot, but it's this new character that's doing it. It's not like showing Tobey Maguire do it. It's not pulling you out in quite the same way. It's more of like a cute little wink wink nudge nudge reference, whereas this is like grinding everything a halt to like literally show a human actor in this like beautiful animated movie, and it's like it just affects everything for me. That's the only thing that like really bugged me about it, pardon the pun.
Can anybody tell me whether or not it's canon for this film, I guess, that there's an infinite amount of spider universes? Is that the implication, or is there a finite amount? Do we know?
I assume it's infinite.
I have no idea. I'm not.
Because if it's infinite, then there would theoretically have to be the Tobey Maguire. If it's truly infinite, then those would have to exist. Therefore,
I think. I mean,
they included like the Amazing Spider-Man video game even in one part.
Oh yeah, they did.
It's like the part where Uncle Ben died. Yeah, which is funny because like I know that game. It's very corny. Also, like the little funny joke. Like it was so quick that I might be wrong, but I believe they mentioned that Miles' mom used to be a stripper. And I thought that was very funny, but it's like such a quick. It's such a quick line. It's like so quick that like it's like, oh, like honey, remember when you used to? And then she's like, mm-hmm. And it's like, she used to be a stripper or whatever. It's like such a little thing, but like that was great. And I feel like most people like won't even pick up on it. I was just thinking about like the the Marvel like parents who like were shitting on Guardians of the Galaxy for like the F-bomb or whatever. And they probably didn't even pick up on that in like a kid's movie. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I could be wrong because it's so quick.
No, it does have like very witty, quick dialogue.
Yeah, there's a lot of like quick jokes like that. Like, there's no way you can pick up on like every joke in the movie. It's it's like my favorite comedies, like Scott Pilgrim or whatever. There's just like so much stuff going on in the background, you can't even like pick up on all of it. But when you watch it again, I'm sure you could watch this movie like 5 times and notice something like different every time. I'm probably going to see it again like soon because I really want to watch it with like a good sound mix, because to me that's like the biggest problem with it was just the sound.
Call the theater, find out.
Yeah.
I'll watch it on the 4K Blu-ray. I'll buy it.
Yeah, it flows even better a second
I'll watch
time.
It. I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure it does.
Flows.
Yeah. Knowing what to expect.
Did we want to wrap this up, or is there any more things anybody wanted to say about?
I will say, the third one. I mean, this second one had a lot of expectations going into it. Like, I feel like there was a lot of pressure coming off the first, and it's kind of a miracle that they topped it. And I'm just like fascinated at how they're going to top this in the third one. At just strictly visually. Like, I don't know where else you can go visually, because they kind of did like everything in this movie. Like stop motion. I don't know what else they could do. So I'm like,
claymation.
Yeah,
I mean, they did have that with like the Lego Spider-Man.
They did have some.
They did have that.
That's different.
Animated by a 14-year-old as well.
Wallace and Gromit cameo.
Even if it was like CG made to look stop motion. Yeah.
It'll be fun.
Yeah, I love that Lego Spider-Man bit. That was so great. I also love they have J.K. Simmons back as J. Jonah. I love he is just J. Jonah in every canon. He's just J. Jonah in every universe.
He owns that character. He owns it.
Yeah.
I mean, because who else would you want to get?
They're going to have to AI generate him in like 30 years.
The CG him in like Rise of Skywalker or whatever.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. I like this movie a lot. It's a high 7 or low 8. Giving it a high 7 for now. We'll see what it's like on a second watch with better sound, subtitles, 4K Blu-ray, all that jazz. Loved it. It'll probably be on my list at 2020.
Yeah, I'm with you on the sound. I feel like I'd rate it higher if the sound was better. So I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 for now. And I think after my second watch, I'll probably raise it to a 9. But I just can't. It's hard for me to like get past that, where I can't hear the movie. Like, I couldn't hear dialogue that was like important. So, and that really took me out of it. I'm sure it would have been like way more intense, like those action scenes, if the sound wasn't so like quiet. Yeah, that really bothered me. Yeah. The sound. I wish it was better. I don't know why
That's
they
fair
like.
Enough, yeah. It is not what I was expecting.
Yeah, they're like, oh, we're gonna fix it now. Like they would like say we're gonna fix it now after it made like $400 million already. It's like, okay, like everyone saw it, you know.
Yeah, punish the people who bought tickets to the premiere.
Yeah,
everybody who wasn't
so kind of
like
hyped. Fuck them over. Mm-hmm.
You get the good version.
Yeah, exactly.
Oops, guess you have to see it twice now. Sorry.
They're gonna patch it in theaters like the movie Cats. I mean, it's much better than Cats. I'm just saying.
What?
Better. Yeah. Despite my gushing, I actually think 4-star, 8 out of 10 for now. Very high. I just need, I don't know, a bit more time. I need to see it again, and I need to see how they follow it up before I can kind of truly see how it sits in my mind. So that's where I'm sitting for now. I do prefer that first movie. I think it's more complete, despite the little nitpicks here and there. But yeah, it is amazing.
Karsten?
Oh, yeah. I'm probably at the same, about a 4 out of 5, maybe 4.5. Kind of like Ralph was saying, like it'd be interesting to see it with better sound. I do think like it's probably like the best looking animated movie I've seen, maybe ever. But like story wise, I would have to see it a second time to kind of see if it emotionally hits with me a little bit harder. I think that's the one thing that pulls me out a little bit and that's just kind of what happens with a lot of multiverse movies. It doesn't hit close to home necessarily. But yeah, I'm at a solid 4 right now.
Yeah. The multiverse thing's really bad when they like kill characters and bring them back, and that's not really something like
no one's ever really gone.
Like there's like stakes.
No, yeah.
Yeah, no one dies ever. Even the characters, like even just the random people that Spider-Man couldn't save, like they'll probably be back. So just let everybody die.
That's such a comic book, like it's a comic book curse, isn't it? I do actually have one more Spider-Verse thing, not really to do with the movie. I really don't think they're gonna make this March date for the next one.
No, why would they?
I think everyone needs to get prepared for a delay.
I'll give them 5 years.
A fairly long one.
I assumed that they had already like made it, or is like they're like wrapping up on it.
One of them like hadn't even recorded their lines while this one was in theaters. I think there was like a weird news thing.
There was an interview for Gwen.
Damn. That's a crazy deadline then.
There's no way.
I thought that was one of the first steps.
Yeah. Who's to say?
Oops. I hope they don't like crunch and rush it. I hope they don't.
Yeah.
I hope it doesn't turn into one of those.
That would be really funny. It's just like the whole movie's like not even in color. It's just like far less good animation than this one.
Yeah, I'm sure there's something written, but man, I'm sure it's rough right now.
It's all live action.
All the characters look like they have buttholes. They have to edit it out.
Yeah. Cats, yeah.
All right. There was a film recommendation by Karsten. Would you like to describe the film? Give a little blurb, and then we'll talk about it. We'll have a spoiler discussion, but you can give a spoiler-free description of what it is.
For sure. I recommended Wendy and Lucy. It's a 2008 film by Kelly Reichardt. One of her, I think it's her third film.
Yes.
But it is about a woman named Wendy who's traveling to Alaska on her own with her dog, Lucy. And kind of what happens when her car breaks down and she loses her dog. And that's a pretty simple summary, I guess, to start off with. But yeah, it's a devastating movie. And I think it's really, I didn't think about this when I recommended it, but it's kind of funny to pair this with such a maximalist film like Across the Spider-Verse, because this is very stripped down, pretty straightforward, but I also think very pretty moving and rich with its themes. So I don't know, I'm excited. I also noticed that you guys hadn't talked about any Kelly Reichardt. I know, Adam, you've seen some of her films. But I was like, I want to just bring one of her movies to the podcast because I think she's like one of the best auteurs working today. She has a very distinct style and is like, she just put out a film this year called Showing Up and is like still kind of at the top of her game, in my opinion. So this is one of her earlier films. And I mean, I'm sure people are already aware of her, but if you're not, I think this is a good starting point and down to
I want to see that, yeah. And she did First Cow. First Cow's great. That made my 2019 list. Yeah.
First Cow's funny because that's like her most popular. I'm pretty sure just because of the pandemic, and it was like kind of conveniently.
It's got a good title.
Available.
Yeah, and it's A24 also.
Yeah,
like A24
Yeah. But it is a weird place to start with her. So if you.
It is a weird place to start with her. I agree.
Yeah. I thought it was great.
I've seen 4 of her films, so I guess half.
Okay. Yeah.
I really connected with certain women. I like that one.
Probably,
or at least most of the film.
Yeah, because that one's funny because it's like 3 different stories. So it's like the French Dispatch where some of them you're like, I'm into that, and the other ones you're not as into. But that one is, I love certain women a lot.
Yeah. I find with movies like that, if there's one that I don't like love, I find that usually on the second watch, like expecting the beats of them and being like, okay, this one's a bit more slower paced, and knowing what's coming beforehand, I wind up liking it more. So I'm excited to see that one again. Yeah.
I've heard about Meek's Cutoff. I kind of stayed away from it because I heard it was boring. But now that I like the director.
Yeah, it's unfortunately kind of one of the reasons it's a blind spot for me, because I remember we must have listened to the same review, Ralph. I remember the scathing review of Meek's Cutoff back in the day.
Yeah. Yeah, that's funny.
I still haven't seen it
yet. And it just kind of put me off ever checking out her movies. But yeah, interesting filmography here. I'm a big fan of westerns. Like now, it wasn't back then, but I'd be curious how that kind of flows now, how that comes across.
Right.
Yeah, who knows?
She's a very naturalistic director, very slow paced, and excellent dialogue, really strong, realistic dialogue. It's just what I noticed from her movies, from the few I've seen.
I've tried. I apparently tried watching Meek's Cutoff a while ago. So who knows what age I was. I remember not being super into it, kind of finding it boring.
Yeah.
But I also kind of felt that way about First Cow. Keep that in mind, I guess. But yeah, Wendy and Lucy and certain women connected with me more for sure. Fun fact about Wendy and Lucy, with this film being from 2008, this was right around the time where I was really kind of discovering and getting into this genre of sad personal indie character dramas, just really low budget movies like this. And so I saw this multiple times when I was younger, for sure. When she started humming, and that higher pitch part where she's like, that unlocked the memory. I was like, oh yeah, I must have seen this multiple times when I was younger.
Oh,
yeah. And so it always had it's always kind of kept an interesting special place in my heart, even though I'm not a huge oh, this is the best movie ever sort of thing. I have my criticisms with it, but it was definitely a part of my growth into understanding the types of things that I like, and trying to look for more films that aren't just explicitly advertised to you in large theatrical posters and presentations and all that stuff. So
absolutely, I think that she kind of served the same thing for me in that I think Old Joy was the first movie of hers I saw, and it did a similar thing where it really put me onto this pace of film, and I really fell in love with just like you were saying, this very naturalistic style of filmmaking and the low budget indie stuff. She does it really well. And yeah.
Yeah, what was the budget on this?
$1.
Jeez. Yeah.
$1.
That's what it looks like.
It's
pocket change.
200,000, 300.
Wow.
I don't know if there's a definitive.
Yeah, that's great.
But
that's awesome.
Yeah, that's micro.
Yeah, it looks great too. I love the look of the movie. I love the film look, the grain. It looks great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is IMDb down for anybody else, by the way?
Yeah, it's down for me.
Oh, it is? Okay. I'm using
I was going to check out if how prominent Michelle Williams was before this film. Because I think this was one of her breakout roles, really.
Yeah, this is pretty early.
This is the first time I noticed her, I guess. But maybe there was more before that.
No, I think she had... I'm going to double check, but I think she had career before.
Dawson's Creek? Never watched it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, she was in a lot of stuff before.
Let's see if we got her filmography on Wikipedia here or something. Ooh.
She had, Brokeback Mountain before this. And...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. That was before this. Okay, never mind. I don't know what I'm talking about. But her in a leading role. Her in a leading role, I guess.
Yeah, her in a leading...
Right.
It's a different kind of status, I guess. It's a different
She's
kinda,
great in it. A really strong cast too.
yeah, when you're like carrying the
yeah.
movie, essentially, when the entire thing is like, how is this character feeling and how are they expressing it? Do I see this on screen?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that, yeah, this film probably helped to really further legitimize her. Although, did she get nominated for an Oscar for Brokeback? Someone did.
Not sure.
Anyway,
But,
fuck it. IMDb is down.
I'm sure that
We
was a
can't-
big
We
breakout
can't
for
speak
her.
facts anymore. We'll just have to speculate. Damn it.
Yeah, we're useless without IMDb. What are we gonna do?
That's all my commentary. I don't say anything real. I just read the IMDb reviews.
Right. That's what the podcast is.
Yeah.
I like the rest of the cast. I thought everyone in it was basically great. I like the security guard there, played by Wally Dalton. He was very good.
Yeah, there were some fun characters.
Yeah, and I really like the mechanic, played by Will Patton.
Oh, he's so good. He's so funny, weirdly. Like, yeah.
My favorite was the grocery store clerk guy, the employee with the crucifix, because it just felt like a real character. Like it felt like there was a little bit of commentary going on with the costume design, like the crucifix. He's like, oh, you have to blah blah blah. And I love the dynamic between him and his boss, because his boss was almost like, you know, it seems like he has a bit of a conscience, like, seriously, like she's like a can of dog food, just let her go. And he's like, but no one's above the law. We gotta do this because this is the right thing to do. He's like, I guess. Like, just sets off the whole movie.
So it's about setting a good example, and then it just ruins her life. Yeah, what a terrible character. I mean, a great character, but
Also terrible, yeah.
Great character, bad person.
just a piece of shit.
Great morally.
Yeah.
I agree with everything he's doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, what did you guys, Alex and Ralph, how'd you guys feel about the film?
Yeah, I did enjoy it. Yeah, it's funny, the contrast with this maximalist to minimalist naturalist type of thing we're going on right now. Very matter of fact, but I do love films that explore these kind of disenfranchised people who've fallen through the cracks and kind of taking this no-nonsense approach. It's not sensationalized. It's not even really interested in exploring why or how the characters got to where they are, particularly. It's more about just them in the now and their daily struggles. Yeah, there are some films that follow these kind of similar themes with these kind of characters that I got kind of more of a emotional response out of, be it like I, Daniel Blake, Leave No Trace, Nomadland. But I think, yeah, what you're saying with these characters, they do feel real and endearing. And yeah, that mechanic guy, you've seen that guy in real life, and the same could be said with a bunch of the characters. I was never pulled out through anything like that.
Yeah, that's funny, because I just like got my car fixed recently. It like reminded me like of that guy, like the mechanic. It's like literally like that guy. So, like she was talking about like the thing wrong with her car or whatever. Like, yep, that's like how I was talking. Like she has like no idea what she's talking about, and he's like, yep, your belt or whatever. Like it's just like that.
Yeah, I like how he never makes eye contact with her, and even though you can't see a perspective shot, you can tell just by the way that it's filmed. Like he's looking so low and looking away. He's just like, there's this kind of implicit communication of just like not respecting her. Just in the body language.
Yeah. It's just like he's like running a business. Like he's not really, he doesn't really care about like her personal life or anything. She's just like,
sure, aliens took your car. Okay.
I love how they handle the dog as well, actually. Because again, that could be one of those, I Am Legend, like totally manipulating the audience type angle. I was wondering like how they were going to handle like the emotional stuff with the dog, but I do like the way it concludes with her kind of letting her go.
And it's kind of like the only thing she has really is that dog. And so, like the whole point of the story is like, her trying to like find the one thing that like, like the only thing she has in her life, basically, like trying to get it back. Yeah, so it did like work.
She's probably got rich parents. She's probably gonna go home to them. They've got
a nepo baby. Yeah,
I think that's like a very. You were kind of saying this earlier, Alex. Like, I feel like they don't say that much about her backstory or like where she's coming from or why she's doing this.
She's faking it.
I'm pretty I think that like it could, turn some people off from the movie, but I like the fact that it doesn't open up her to like criticism, and that people would be like, well, she put herself in this situation. Yeah, it's like you can kind of just look at her in this position, like for what it is, and like I don't know. I think it's a pretty interesting choice to not really show any backstory, because maybe she does have rich parents, and like that would just
she's method acting for another role. She's playing Michelle Williams.
Yeah, she's researching it. Yeah.
But yeah, I think that ending is I really like it because it's not a happy ending, but it's not that it's the right ending, I would say. I was like, she definitely. Yeah, and I think that's a really it's just an interesting way to end the film, and felt very fitting for what the rest of the film is, because I feel like a lot of it is like she's trying to get other people to like help her out here, and it seems like no one is willing to like see her as like a person that like could use some help. Like the mechanic is a great example. It's like he doesn't make eye contact, he just doesn't even really see her as anything else. And I feel like the ending is her kind of helping the dog out in a way, and being like, I should give this dog the better life, and in doing so it works in her benefit, because she can finally move forward and get out of this town and go where she needs to go. And you don't know if that ends up being a good thing. I can't imagine things get any easier, but she does like get to move forward, which I think is I don't know, kind of what the film's about at the end of the day.
Yeah,
very bittersweet.
I just really connected to that dialogue. I said a lot on this show, like it's really hard to write characters and make them feel like they're real people and make it feel realistic, and this film like really did that. Like the dialogue is super strong, and the performances too, I think, help with that. Like all the acting is great. They really sell that dialogue, and it's not very showy. It's just like I don't know. I can't point to anything specific, but it's just like how people really talk with like stammering, and it's just great.
I think that all the acting was great except one girl close to the beginning, where they obviously had a bunch of non-actors around the fire pit, and she just the one girl, not a strong opener. I'm sorry.
I know who you're talking about.
I'm sure you know who I'm talking about. She really does kind of like. That's not how people. You shouldn't have given her any speaking roles. Like, if you want to have non-actors in this scene, that's fine. She's not the one you should have gotten to say words.
But I like the guy telling the story about like the whatever bulldozer that they crash into the like I destroyed this $100,000 piece of equipment in 4 seconds, and like Michelle Williams, she just like gets the fuck out of there like in the middle of the story. She's like, let's get out of here. Like these people are crazy. I love that. That's a great. I enjoyed that part at least.
Yeah. This premiered at Cannes.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it did. And it won the Palm Dog, a real award. It is a real award.
Palm Dog.
Lucy got the Palm Dog. So if you have a movie that's at Cannes Film Festival, put a dog in it, you might win the Palm Dog. There's not a lot of.
I did not know that was a. I thought you were joking.
It is.
No, that's a real. No, that is a real.
Yeah.
I thought you were joking. That's crazy.
I know, right?
I love that. I love that.
The Once Upon a Time in Hollywood dog didn't that dog win that year?
Yeah.
For
you put a dog in a movie, it's going to win the Palm Dog if it premieres again.
Yeah, it was a great dog. So
speaking of, where there was this like weird thing, like Ken Loach has won the Palm Dog multiple times without like. I haven't seen a dog in one of his films. The most recent Palm Dog he won was like a Lifetime Achievement Award, and it's just like I don't associate him with dogs.
What?
But so we'll have to solve that mystery. Maybe Ken Loach identifies as a dog. We don't really know. But what's kind of interesting about that is this film does remind me of Ken Loach's films. You mentioned I, Daniel Blake. And I think what the similarities are that it's a really grounded story in terms of just like American poverty and not having the proper support systems. And what I really like about these like grounded stories is like, you watch the movie and you're like, damn, this is happening to like thousands of people right now. Like these exact same things. It's not like super sensationalized. It's not like so over dramatic, like the craziest fucking thing happens and then blah, explosion and gun and blah, 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 blah. Although guns aren't out of the equation in America either. But, you know, just like being trapped in poverty and not having like a proper way out of it and trying your best, but still the system is kind of just preventing you from being able to climb out of that fucking pit. You know, there's poor taxes essentially. Like it's more expensive to be poor. Like it's fucked. And so it always makes me a bit like kind of upset, and it's a little bleak, I guess, overall seeing a film like this or a lot of Ken Loach movies where it's just like, damn, like people are getting screwed. And it's getting worse.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I also think about Sean Baker a lot when I watch this, because I feel like a lot of his films are about the same thing. And that's even bleaker to think about because his are a little bit more modern. And it's just crazy how, nothing has really changed since this. But yeah, I don't know. I agree. I don't think... I always thought of this as like a really sad movie, but on rewatch, I was like, it's just a upsetting, kind of frustrating movie. It makes me angrier than it does the other way. So I don't know. It's just a frustrating watch.
Yeah. But in a good way.
Yeah, it's the whole point, isn't it? It's like shining a light on these people that, I don't know, a lot of people like have really strange opinions about like homeless people and like a real cruelty about, which is expressed through the film with some of these characters and how they treat her. And it is a sad state.
Yeah.
There's a real pervasive "fuck you, got mine" attitude in the States, especially. Everybody's just kind of trying to scam someone else. Like every ad on TV is like a scam. Right. Everybody's just. I mean, it's difficult when you kind of get overwhelmed when there's that many people that are in poverty, uneducated, and just like it creates like such a huge problem to try to solve that a lot of people do just get kind of jaded and tell themselves like, yeah, well, you know, fuck it, what can you do? And then the problem gets worse, and then it's like, okay, well, you know, your rich neighborhood's not going to be safe forever. You're going to see the homeless crisis soon if you're not seeing it right now. Right. It's not just going to be in the fucking downtown spots with the good food, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's that channel on YouTube, isn't there, that they just kind of drive around through impoverished places in the US, just kind of showing off like how bad it is and it's quite shocking. We have a homeless problem here, but like the scale of it in America is quite distressing.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's like one of the reasons I left LA. It's like the homeless problem there is really bad. And, you know, it's bad in New York too, but it's like really bad in LA. There's like homeless camps like under the highway and on the beach. And like, it's like, it's
everywhere.
Pretty bad.
It's fucked. There's like serious problems that need to be addressed.
And then you go like down the block into Beverly Hills and there's like none of that. It's like actually insane. Like there's like a cutoff point. Like you see it. There's like homeless people and then nothing like for like blocks because it's like that's where all the rich people live. And they probably have like security and whatever, you know. It's like, yeah, exactly.
Shoo.
Such a disconnect,
Get out of here.
I think it's very intentional.
Yeah.
That I don't know. A lot of the things that would make her life easier in the film and that do make her life easier aren't like these crazy solutions and like a shit ton of like systemic change. Systemic change. It's like the guy at the end literally gives her like $6 and it's like enough money to get her like breakfast and like get to see the dog. I don't know. It's just I like the fact that a lot of I don't know, the things that make her life easier aren't these like bigger things. It's just simple kindness that it's hard to find, I guess.
That's why I really like the security guard character, because because he could be seen as like kind of an authority figure of sorts, because he's like a security guard, but he's like very sympathetic to her situation, tries to help her out like as much as he can.
Yeah.
And that's like, you know, it's like showing the other side of it too. It wasn't so like one-sided, like, oh, look at all these like authority figures like bringing him down. Like he did actually have like some humanity in him, and it's like he's just a guy. He's just a person, you know. He's doing the best he can, given the
He's
situation.
got that great line, can't get an address without an address, a job without a job, it's all fixed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's bleak.
Yeah.
That's bleak and true.
Oops. Big oops.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I had another thing to say, but I forgot about it. I'm sorry.
I'm curious, Adam, you said you have some criticisms. I am curious, like, what some of the...
I mean,
what they
well,
are.
just kind of like that one girl at the beginning is a really big one. For me. Anything that like takes me out of it and reminds me that it's a movie. There's also kind of a funny line. She was like, my dog's like, what'd she say? Like 34 pounds. And it's like, okay, well, like, okay, in the script, the dog was starving, but you didn't want to starve a real dog. The dog doesn't, like, you can't see the dog's like ripped. Right. So it's like, okay, maybe change the line or get a smaller dog. You know, just kind of like, you know.
Yeah, it's a fun fact that I mean, I don't know if you guys already knew, but this is like Kelly Reichardt's actual dog.
Oh, nice.
And
all right.
I do think it's funny that like she'll like go to set and like shoot this like devastating movie trying to find the dog and gets to like go home and it's just happy and healthy, has no idea.
Yeah.
I'll also say when she gets reunited with the dog, that is a very toned down reaction from the dog. I think we've all seen enough YouTube videos of like, anybody who's like had a friend that's owned a dog or whatever, if you leave for like an hour, it'll be freaking out when you come back.
Yeah.
Like,
5 minutes.
2
minutes.
Lucy's gone for like a few days and the dog's like, oh, what's up?
I don't know. It depends. It depends on the dog.
I know, it does
It depends on the dog. Some dogs have more.
Some dogs have autism.
Like I just got back from vacation, and I went to go see my dog. He was very like, he wasn't like jumping all over me. Mm-hmm. He was like, very like downplayed. Maybe he just didn't miss me, which is fine. No, I think he missed me. Yeah, he's just very downplayed. Like he just walked up to me and licked me. Yeah. He's got like arthritis too, so maybe like didn't want to jump up or whatever.
That's
the poor guy. Yeah. But that didn't really take me out of it. Yeah, the dog was cute. I like any movie with a dog. Like you don't even have to
movie
get me,
with a dog.
You don't have to get me to like care about a dog. It's just like a dog.
Air Bud.
Yeah, even Air Bud.
Terminator 2.
Golden Receiver,
yeah. Cats. I don't think there's a dog in that one.
There's not a dog in Cats.
Yeah,
that was the
problem. If they put a dog in, it would have been great. Yeah. Yeah, that would have fixed it.
Yeah, so I guess it's not necessarily like, oh yeah, these things that are like way wrong with the film, but it's what it needs to be, but what it feels it needs to be isn't necessarily what I want the most out of the film.
Totally.
It is, very reserved and like held back, but to the point for me personally where it's like a little teetering it on the edge of like kind of repetitive. Mm-hmm. Where I might want like a little bit more out of that. Like I can soak in a lot about, what the movie is saying and the characters and the interactions and, these little details about, especially what she winds up doing to find her dog. I like that she's like tying her clothes everywhere and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, I can see someone getting really desperate and doing that. There's some great scenes in here, but at the end of the day, it doesn't leave a whole lot in my memory as like, this great, awesome movie that I really want to go back and discover. It more or less just kind of reminds me of like a time period in my life when I was discovering the movie. And I have a bit of nostalgia for that, I guess. Totally.
Yeah. I can see that. It is a thing of like, I think with her movies, she's very consistent and in that way, it's like they either do it for you or they don't. And everyone kind of has their own film of hers that they like personally connect to. And yeah, I can see personally, I'm like, as like a dog guy, I'm just
dog man.
very, very sensitive to this kind of story. But yeah, it's great.
Who doesn't love dogs?
Who doesn't?
Cats.
Yeah, that's part of why they made the movie. It's like, it's about a dog. People love this dog.
Exactly.
Yeah, but it's a good movie too. Obviously,
people with allergies
stuff going on.
Right.
People are allergic to dogs. I guess.
Right.
Yeah. I guess there's people who are allergic to dogs.
You can be allergic to fur. You can get hypoallergenic dogs if you want.
Yeah. I guess that's possible. There's some dogs who don't have fur. They have like hair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know.
Old English sheepdogs.
Good movie.
Yeah, I will say, in the UK, it was quite difficult to get my hands on.
Oh yeah.
Best distribution.
Really?
Yeah, because I used a VPN to try and buy it through like Amazon, like America.
That's interesting because
'cause you
here
can just-
it's like free on like multiple platforms.
You need a VPN to access US Amazon? Since when? What are you talking
I
about?
don't know, man.
You just changed the URL. It's just .com instead of .co.uk.
Yeah, I guess I didn't need to use a VPN, but I was trying to buy it through there.
Oh, see, I didn't even know that.
It just wouldn't let me.
Yeah.
Because it's just not available on any platform here.
That's so strange.
There is a region-free Blu-ray by Oscilloscope Laboratories.
Right. Yeah.
It's
But I found it like
ABC.
right on Tubi. Like in the US, it's free on like multiple platforms, like not just one. You can go like
Watch
there's
it.
like 5
Peacock.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah, Peacock and like Tubi and
Watch it on the cock.
yeah,
Thank you.
Peacock. It's a great name for a service. Yeah, we made fun of that before. It's like, why would you name your? Name it like Pisscock.
If every Peacock ad just had Karsten saying in that exact same way, "Watch it on the cock," I think it would take off.
He's so much more successful.
Yeah, I think I'd sign up.
Spokesman for Peacock.
I'm a cock spokesman.
Yeah.
All right, let's give our ratings. Very nostalgic movie for me. I connected with it, maybe not like to an insane degree. I give it a high 6, low 7. Really enjoyable, lots to appreciate.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty much there with you. Kind of low 7 for me, 3.5 star.
Nice.
Yeah, everything you guys were saying. I liked the naturalistic style. Reminding me of this Daniel Blake kind of thing. Doesn't quite hit me as hard as some of these contemporaries, but yeah, everything about it was pretty solid, consistent, and I like the way you phrased it, being the right way to end that story, the right length, the right pace. It's only an hour 20 minutes. Great moments, great performances.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's nice and short. Yeah. I'd go 8 out of 10 on it, or 4 star. I really enjoyed it. I want to check out more from Kelly Reichardt because I like her movies. I want to see Showing Up soon. I've heard it was good. Yeah. So I'll check that one out.
Is that the new one? Yeah, it is.
It's the new one.
Just came. Also starring Michelle Williams, coincidentally, and Andre 3000.
Oh,
weirdly
shit!
enough, is in it.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I might
He's old now.
I might recommend
yeah.
like Meek's Cutoff one day, just to like, because I don't know if it's good.
Yeah,
or
I'm
not,
very
but-
curious.
Yeah, I'm
actually.
kind of curious
Yeah.
about it now.
I haven't seen it.
Because Alex and I saw like this scathing review of it like years ago. We're probably thinking of the same review. Yeah.
I'm giving it the full 5. Big fan of this movie. One of my crazy. Love it. But I will say this was my second time watching it, and it's one of those movies where I'm like, I really don't want to watch it again because it's not a fun time. And still love it. Still love it. Yeah.
Sweet. Thank you so much for the recommendation. I was very happy to revisit it.
Of course. Hell yeah.
And
Glad.
now I have a Blu-ray
Amazing.
instead of a burned DVD.
Yeah, I watched it with my dog.
It's really funny. I had so many burned DVDs from like, I would just rent movies and then like copy them or whatever. Because I was however old. And then I had so many of them that I was like, I was getting pretty fucking pro at copying the font with my permanent marker on my copy so that it looked like a really like legit. It wasn't just like, oh, shitty writing. Like you could flip through the binder and know what movie it is just based on like the font as you're like quickly.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I was now I just buy Blu-rays, but
Your Blu-ray collection is insane. I just gotta say,
thank you.
It's when it shows up in my like recommended, and it's like it says like my Blu-ray collection, and it's like an 8-hour long video. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ.
I've got more. That was years ago.
Wow. Yeah.
Gotta update it.
I found a 4K Blu-ray of the film Waves, and it's like this big vinyl size thing that you can only get from Japan.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's great. I will say, like, while we're on the topic, just really quick, I mean, I've always appreciated Blu-rays, but I'm like, especially with like streaming and like random movies just getting taken off of streaming services, I'm like, I really do now appreciate Blu-rays.
Physical media,
Yeah.
Yeah, you own the movie. It's like, it's not going anywhere.
The quality's better too.
exactly. Fucking Disney updated. What movie did they fucking update?
Oh, the French Connection.
Yeah, the French Connection to get rid of, I think, the N-word. And since they own the rights to it, they applied the update, and it even affected the Criterion Channel version. So, like, there's just a chunk of the movie missing. That didn't happen to the Blu-ray, though.
Nope.
So,
Yeah.
Anyway.
Best quality. All right, question time.
Okay, let's do some questions from the Sardonicast community. If you want to leave your own questions, head over to the suggestion thread over on the subreddit, r/Sardonicast, just like r/Jarmedia did. Seeing as both Ralph and Karsten are film school graduates, how much better do you think your opinions are than Adam and Alex?
Oh yeah, they don't know anything. These guys are just
don't
dumb
know
as
shit.
This is my show.
What if you combined Alex and mine's opinion as one person? Would that be enough?
No, not good enough.
Is that not enough?
It's not educated enough. Yeah. It doesn't really. If anything, that stuff probably ruins you.
Film school stuff? If anything, it makes you less informed.
Because you meet so many fucking douchebags that are like, oh well, this movie, I've seen this many movies. What do you know? It's like there's a lot of that in film school. It's like shut the fuck up.
There's so many people that go into school only to get the degree, not because they actually want to learn something, but because they want to tell people what they already know is like fact now because they have a degree. Like so many people go into like psychology. Right. They're like, I think I know a lot about other people. I just want to be able to say I have the degree. Obviously not everybody, a lot of people are there to learn and to better themselves. And like,
yeah, that's definitely a type of person.
Yeah. That's a good thing about going to like film school. You meet some people and they're like completely like delusional. You're like, wow, it like humbles you a little. You're like, oh wow, I can actually like, do this. It's like this guy's got no chance. Like, he just lives in his own fucking fairyland or whatever. It's like, wow, okay, you're just a fucking idiot.
The most successful graduates will be making commercials.
Yeah.
Unless you're really lucky.
I don't know. I know it's cliche, but I feel like I've learned more from like honestly like online stuff, like I don't know, just finding stuff myself than I did in film school. Film school is just kind of there to like give you the tools and the resources and
connections.
Connections. It's like
find like-minded people.
Right. So to answer the question, no, I can't say we do. I don't know if we know that much more. But
I also, depending on what film school you go to, I like the idea of sort of being, some of the projects are like make a movie in like 48 hours. I think that's a very useful skill set and a useful sort of like disciplinary thing to do is like add more restrictions to what you're doing. You have to produce it by a certain date. Like that's very useful, just knowledge building and just hands-on experience.
Definitely, a lot of student films like just don't even get done because they don't have like a time frame, right? That's perfect. That's I totally agree. That's how I made like some of my best stuff. I think was through those like film festivals.
Yeah. I think that's another nice thing about it. I realize like now that I'm out of film school that it's like it's harder to get the resources to make something. And right. In film school, you kind of have the safety net where it's like you can just try things out, and if it sucks, that's what it's there for.
And you also have to like pay people or at least like take time out of their lives. So you can't really fuck around like once you're out of school like that. Yeah,
right.
Because it's time and money you're wasting. Then is when you're a student, it's like, oh, whatever. You live in a dorm. You all live in a dorm. Like you don't have to worry about anything. Like like it's not like real life.
Yep. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Ann Bott has this to say. Since I heard that Karsten's a big fan of primary colors in movies, I simply wanted to ask what your guys' favorite uses of color or color palettes in films are.
Oh, I was just talking about Ron recently. That movie's great with the color.
Yeah.
like how all the suns are like different color. Like the good sun is blue and the bad sun's like red, and the one in the middle is like dressed in yellow. It's like so perfect, like the color. And you think about like Kurosawa, right? Like most of his career is making black and white movies, and the fact that he like mastered color like that, that's like super impressive. That's like really impressive. It's like a whole other medium, basically.
That's how I felt when I watched that movie for the first time. Was I was like, it feels like he just like unlocked a new power or something when he started making, like seeing his movies in color. I'm like, Jesus Christ! Of course, it's like amazing because he just understands lighting, and I feel like the color theory so strongly that obviously it's great.
Yeah, and using it to like define characters and like, you know, like for the story too. It's not just it looks pretty. Like it's like very clear visual meaning to like every color. It's like it's beautiful. It's so good.
Yeah. A Single Man with Colin Firth, directed by Mr. Ford. What is his name? Todd Ford? What is his name? I don't remember his name.
Harrison Ford.
There's the guy, the clothing company guy.
Yeah, Tom Ford.
Tom Ford. Thank you. There's really interesting parts of that movie where it's like depending on his mood, like things will get undersaturated or oversaturated, and it's like it's a subtle enough shift that there's going to be tons of people that watch the movie without even noticing that that's happening. But to people who are really paying attention, then it's like, okay, yeah, this is very clearly trying to communicate something about the character's internal thought processes. I don't care if anybody shits on me for this. I love Sin City. I have a positive memory of that movie in my mind. Who knows? Maybe I'll rewatch it as an adult and hate it, but there's stuff about it that really has stuck with me forever, and its use of color and lack thereof, and you know, the yellow and the red just selectively appearing. And then there's so many films and like ads even that have tried to replicate that just because it was like a really cool idea, doing selective color.
Yeah,
it's striking. Yeah,
I love that. I love that movie too. Yeah,
I'd have to shout out a film I probably think about once a day. That being Stalker. I love the color palette of that movie. Yeah. I love the imagery of that movie. It's washed out like browns, greens, and blues. I found this like a website that it sells these like kind of posters that it like takes every frame of the movie and puts them in like a row.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, have you seen these? Yeah. They're kind of cool. Like,
I've seen looking those. At the Stalker
ones.
That's awesome.
Put it in my bathroom or something. That's a big standout for me.
Wait, let me look that up.
I can't remember what it's called. I should have noted it down before.
I should know it too. I've seen those before. Yeah, I've seen it from Fincher movies.
It's a cool idea.
Yeah.
Like the average color of the movie. Or the color timeline.
Yeah, that's basically like what you got.
Yeah. I would say The Umbrellas of Cherbourg or The Young Girl, both that and Young Girls of Rochefort, I want to say. Two Jacques Demy movies that like if you have like heavily inspired La La Land, and you can tell it's like very colorful, very poppy, and just deliberate, and oh my god, they're just beautiful. They're from like the 60s, but they stand out. Like they're still more colorful and interesting than most movies today. So
I have yet to see a Jacques Demy. I know it's on my
they're so good.
There's a lot of French New Wave that I haven't gotten into yet. So
yeah, Alex, you just sent it. Yeah, the color palette thing. Yeah, that's sick.
Moviepalette.com.
Look at the La La Land one. It's like fucking crazy. It's like all it's like all kinds of different colors. It's like green and blue. Yeah, I love that.
Also, Mishima, Life in 4 Chapters. That Paul Schrader movie. Just the most insane production design, and it's like otherworldly. But
yeah. That one was crazy. I saw that pretty recently.
I can't watch list anything. IMDb's down. I think that's already in
Gotta get a Letterboxd. Yeah. That's a really good movie. Yeah, I love that movie.
Okay. Klopfish has this to say. What do you think about the IMAX debacle between Tom Cruise losing IMAX screens for MI Dead Reckoning Part 1 week after its release to Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer?
Change the date. If it's that important, change the date of your movie release.
Yeah, they should push the date up. Absolutely.
If you don't want to compete with like the most hyped movie of the year, then don't put your movie in theaters the same time.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, what do you expect? It's fucking Christopher Nolan, dude. Like, what do you expect?
It's kind of his brand, yeah.
Yeah, right.
It's not going to compromise, no.
They should definitely move it up to like the 4th of July, because I don't think there's much coming out like early July. I mean, I could be wrong, but
it's like so crowded because it's like there's that Mission Impossible movie, Oppenheimer, and Barbie all in like one weekend. I'm like, why don't we just
push it up?
All there is after that is like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Like, just spread it out a bit.
Yeah, I would say like push it up to like the first week of July, because if you push it back too much, then it won't make as much money, because like the summer's over, everyone's going back to school, people are busy in like August or whatever. But if you push it up like early July, I think it would work fine. That might be like, I guess they're worried like people won't go see it because it's too soon. But they're kind of in a bad spot, because like June is fucking packed with movies. There's like a ton of movies out right now, so it can't come out like now. There's like Little Mermaid and Flash and Spider-Man and like there's like Transformers. So like I think early July would work fine for it if it was like my decision. But after Oppenheimer, I mean Oppenheimer's going to be, I think that's going to be like one of the most successful movies of the year, even more so than Mission Impossible.
Even if it's bad, it'll be.
I think it'll be fine, but it's like, how many times can like it be Tom Cruise's summer? Like it was his summer last year with Top Gun,
right?
And like Mission Impossible, they're good, but it's like I don't know if they're gonna top Fallout. And also, it's like I'm getting kind of sick of like the Tom Cruise like stunt every movie. Like, oh, look at it, like he tries to kill himself this way in this movie, and like he jumps off a cliff.
Is that why it's a 2-part thing? Because it's like the last one they can get out of him, and it's like, okay, we can maybe get 2 more, make it 2 parts. It's like his final hurrah.
Yeah.
Maybe they could push it back a little more to like the fall or like around Christmas time. That could work for it too. But I just don't think it's a good idea. I don't think people are as hyped for it as he thinks they are. Because like I feel like with Top Gun 2, something refreshing about that movie is it wasn't like sold on like the stunts or whatever. It was just like a good movie. Like the stunts are great, but it's not like, oh look, Tom Cruise is gonna jump off a cliff again. And, it's just I feel like people are kind of sick of that at this point. It's like, how many times are you gonna sell the movie with like some amazing stunt? It's like getting kind of old. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see how it comes.
Maybe that's just me. Yeah, it's an interesting like situation that It reminds me like when Tarantino was like upset with like the Hateful Eight. I think it was like, was it Hateful Eight? Yeah.
It was with Disney, wasn't it? He was beefing. Yeah.
Yeah, with Star Wars.
That was so funny.
Yeah. I mean, that one there's a little more like of a debate, I guess, of like, an independent artist versus like a big studio like with a tentpole like Star Wars movie. But this is like, it's like Mission Impossible 6 Part 1 or whatever. It's like, there's only so much like I could shed a tear for him, I'm sure it'll be a fine movie. I just don't think it's going to like blow our socks off like Top Gun did.
He still has part 2 anyway.
Yeah.
I mean.
And I'm sure like people have seen it already, like Mission Impossible. They probably know if it's like better than Oppenheimer or not, like certain in that circle they've probably seen both those movies, like the theater curators or whatever. They probably figured like Oppenheimer seems like more of a safe bet, which I'm sure pissed him off. I mean, Nolan too, he's like one of the biggest proponents of like IMAX film. Like he's just been pioneering that shit for like a decade. He's like the top dog there, so you can't really compete with him in terms of that stuff.
I have to pee real quick. I'll be back. I had some Red Bull. I'm sorry. I'll be right back.
Red Bull. I've been drinking some H2O. Good old the way of water.
The way of water. You're making me sad. I've seen about these Avatar delays.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I haven't.
It's gonna be like 2030 by the time.
It's gonna be another 12 years. Fuck.
Yeah. If it's going to be lava Na'vi next, then it'll be what other environments are there?
I'm sure it'll be cool.
Desert? Desert? Oh, no, it's Dune, I guess.
He's 68 years old. I'm just like, he's still got so much in him. Yeah. It's crazy. Gotta respect it. But
I mean, I love that new one. I thought the new one was great. I really enjoyed it. It's on.
I was surprised.
Yeah.
I wasn't like a big Avatar head, so I like, caught up, and I was like lukewarm about the first one, but then again, I like wasn't there.
I'm back. Hello.
Yeah, sure. At the time, like the first Avatar was like amazing.
Yeah.
There was actually like more of a response to that one probably than this new one, but this new one still did great. I love the new one. It's on Disney Plus now. Yeah, so I'm probably watch that again.
Another question?
I'm actually going to hijack this because I want to bring up something. Any of you guys seen The Idol?
Not yet, but I hear its reception is kind of funny.
I've seen some of it.
So I'm actually excited.
I've seen the first 2 episodes. Have you seen the how many episodes have you seen, Karsten?
I saw 1 episode and I fell asleep.
Okay, cool.
I've seen the first 2. I watched the second one yesterday. It was so, I don't know. It's it's entertaining. But it's kind of
like watching a car crash. Yeah.
Right, it's like Euphoria season 2, where I'm like, this is entertaining for now, and it's going to get to a point where it just gets so tedious and I don't know how much more I have in me.
You know that scene in Euphoria season 2 where that character is like singing to the main character. And it's like the most excruciating, like kind of cringy.
It's like a 6-minute song. Yeah.
Oh my god!
What were they thinking?
It's kind of like, it feels like that scene, but expanded and like way more sexualized and crazy.
It's so
okay. I'm hyped. Maybe I'll do a watch along.
Oh, it'd be a great watch along.
Good.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
But the thing about this show is that they play this one pop song that I'm talking about. They play it. Yeah. They've played it like 20 times already, and it's like gotten to a point where it is an earworm, and I've had it stuck in my head for like 2 days, and it makes me so upset because I have to like keep thinking about the show because it's like in my head.
It's on Spotify.
Yeah, it's on Spotify. Up and I was watching it.
Yeah, so I was like, are they like trying to push this or something? Are they trying to get this on TikTok or like what is the thinking with this? Like,
yeah, why not?
The big deal about it was like there's a lot of like nudity or like sexual content in it that's like makes people go, or like when it premiered at Con, people were like, oh, it's so like, I don't know, gratuitous or whatever. I'm just like so tired of like that marketing gimmick or whatever. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't think anyone cares if there's like nudity in a fucking show or not, you know? It's like, it's not a big deal.
They keep saying that like, oh, we're taking it too far, and it's like revolutionary because of that. And it's like the sex stuff isn't taking it too far.
I don't think so.
It's just like cringy, like
right,
uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's just embarrassingly like performed. Like, it's two actors who like don't really have any chemistry and don't really have any screen presence. Like,
no,
the end is like hilarious in the show.
Yeah, I've seen some of the dialogue like on our Reddit, like people clowning on the dialogue, and it's like, oh yeah, like spread your ass out, shit like that. You know, it's like so bad. I'm like, this is fucking terrible. Like, is this supposed to be like
fan fiction? Yeah,
right. Yeah. It's like, oh, like we're really pushing the edge here, but it's like so fucking like tame, and it's like, okay, Lily Rose Depp is like Johnny Depp's daughter, and it's like, all right, like, okay, it's just like, what's the big fucking deal? Like, you know, just that's how I feel about the whole thing. Like, it's been so hyped up because of like all this like explicit stuff, but there's like nothing in the show that I saw that was like very like pushing the boundaries.
No, it's not even that explicit. It's just like weird.
It's so on the nose and shallow. It's really irritating.
My favorite.
I really like the score is pretty good. That's the best thing I can say is that I think not the pop songs, but like the actual like score for the show is like it's decent.
Yeah. Well, and the thing with Euphoria that kind of carried me before was like there's a lot of like kind of energetic camera work and production that's like really kind of fun to follow. There's really none of that so far. It's kind of it's like glacial the pace of the show.
Yeah.
Like nothing has happened in the 2 hours that
it's
I've had so far.
Great point.
Yeah. But apparently it's doing very well as far as viewers.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm sure people are tuning in because of like all the controversy around it. Like, oh, it's so explicit. It's like tons of like nudity and sex, and it's like, nah, not really. Like,
I just turned 18.
It just exactly. It's like people looking for fat material.
Well, they have the built-in audience of The Weeknd, obviously, and I think he was in like the writers' room and contributed to a lot of it. And then Rose Depp apparently has a big audience.
Someone from like a K-pop band is in it too,
right.
which I think brings in a huge audience just for her. She's barely in it. Yeah,
but people are upset at her on TikTok or something. Like
oh, really?
I don't know. Everyone's upset about everything. I don't even know what's real.
Yeah. I hope it doesn't like hurt other shows that are like this, like shows about like pop stars or shows that are like explicit, like, oh, that's like trash content now. I think the show is just boring.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't think anything hurts the show.
Written, yeah.
Yeah, it's just badly written show. I think that's really the biggest takeaway, like we should take from it. Not like, oh, we can't have like explicit stuff in movies anymore because like The Idol or like it's just like a boring kind of show. Like it's just not well thought out really. Because I don't really care about that stuff. It's just like it's like kind of a dull show ultimately.
Yeah, I'll probably hate watch it to the end.
I'm gonna finish the whole thing. That said, can't wait to see what happens next week. Yep.
Okay, Lily of the Valley has this to say. As both CGI and AI get more advanced, do you think film studios will have less of a justification to continue using young child actors in film roles? How do you feel about that?
I feel like we're about 30 years too early for this question.
Yeah, that's kind of
it's not.
The Twilight baby is pretty convincing.
Oh, God. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Fuck. Well, at that point, will they even be animating it, or will AI be animating it? You know,
why even get adult actors at that point? Just have everyone be
everyone be Boss Baby. Just add Boss Baby in place of every
everyone's out Baldwin.
Of every CG kid character. Just put Boss Baby there. We're like, oh, it's Boss Baby. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. What were you asking me?
I mean, I don't know. Just stop creating child characters. Done. Children don't exist in fiction. Like GTA 5, you know? There's no kids.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. You didn't like young Anakin in Phantom Menace? I just rewatched that one recently. I'm like, man, that acting is like...
Yeah, ruined his life too.
You spend a lot of time rewatching things that aren't very good.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Hey, I'm a big Star Wars fan. I love that shit. I've seen those movies tons of times.
Yeah, I don't know. Probably. That's my answer. Probably. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Young Sheldon. I don't know.
Young Sheldon, CGI. Yeah, replace him with Boss Baby.
All AI. Yeah.
Midlife Rapper has this to say. Are there any movies you've thought about recommending but actually decided against it because you didn't think it would be a good idea to have your community watch it?
No, not really. I've never felt that way. How about you guys?
There's only one that really comes to my head. I've never actually checked it out. I've only ever seen clips from it. It's this weird, like, animated movie where the dead go to die. You've probably heard of it. It's like this infamously, like, edgy or something. I'd have to do more research. But, yeah. I don't know. I'd have to check it out in better detail.
Okay, yeah, I don't know. I've heard of it, but I don't know. There's nothing that I wouldn't recommend because it's like too edgy. You know, I wouldn't not recommend something because of like the content. I'm not gonna recommend a porn film. Let's just say that, like an actual porn, because those are technically films. But it's not necessarily like, oh, no one should ever watch porn. It just wouldn't make for a good discussion. Like when I don't recommend something, it's because I don't think that it would make for a good discussion.
Yeah.
Like, you know, everybody should probably watch Dear Zachary. Like, but what are we going to talk about? Like, if you haven't seen it, I'm not going to spoil anything. But like, it's a sad movie. It's a really sad movie. It's a documentary, though. It's like, how much discussion are we going to get out of it other than just saying like, wow, this was fucking bleak? Like,
yeah, you're right. I checked that out. Yeah, you're definitely right. But yeah, no, I think the conversation is where it's at. Like I saw, and when I recommended Happiness when we had Quentin reviews on, I saw him tweeting about that the other day because the movie keeps appearing on on Twitter, and like people are finding out it exists and finding out what the movie's about.
It's just a movie. I don't get like the the reaction there. I think
most people who freak out about like explicit content are children, and we need to find some way of distinguishing child accounts on the internet from adult accounts. I would be in favor of just banning children from the internet. But if we're in its current state, we should at least have some sort of, I don't know, armband or something, so we know something on their profile, just so so we know, like, not to take it as a serious opinion and get ourselves fucking diped up about it, you know? Like, I feel like that's a lot of negative discourse, is not realizing that you're arguing with an actual child and that it's not a real opinion.
Yeah. That's why it's pointless engaging.
Yeah. It's pretty funny you brought that up, like the tweet he made. It's like who cares?
If I see like a ridiculous reply, I'll check the bio and it's like 14 and I'm like, okay, all right. It's the actual child.
This is the big boys table. We talk about big boy movies.
We talk about The Idol over here.
We're not afraid of I mean, we're not even that bad with that stuff. I mean, when was that episode? That was like the third episode we did, right? It's like one of the first
that was
10
years ago.
It's like, all right, dude, take it easy. This is a big boys table.
Big boys
no children allowed.
I'm a big kid now, actually. All right, one more question.
Okay, let me end on this one from Animus Random. Recently, the YouTuber Some Ordinary Gamers talked about the new Cleopatra and lamented that there are absolutely no docudramas with any good acting. Do any of you have any docudramas that you consider to have fantastic acting?
Define docudrama. Are we just talking like biopics?
Documentaries with fictional,
fictionalized documentaries?
I guess like Captain Phillips.
Like Tower.
Oh, yeah, Tower was good.
Yeah. The animation was good.
Tower's incredible.
Yeah, that's a great one.
As far as good performances, Fruitville Station has quite a good lead performance there.
Yeah, I guess if you count that as a docudrama.
Does Flea count? Is that like a full documentary? Still,
I think all of the audio is just, the narration is from an interview.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
But I don't know if they did extra voice acting on top of that.
Right.
But I guess maybe we should try to talk about ones that aren't voice acted, because it's always a bit, you can sweeten those. You can sweeten those performances a bit with the animation.
Yeah, well, according to Google, the definition is just a fictional movie or TV show that's closely based on a true story can be called a docudrama.
Okay.
I'm sure, United 93 has, elements of, docudrama in it. I'd say that's a really good one.
Yeah.
Because it's apparently super accurate. Like, they even cast people who, looked like people who were, there,
Wow.
And they only took
kind of
facts. They only took, recordings from the black box and, stuff like that. There's nothing really fictionalized in it other than the fact that it's, made, it's filmed, it's not really there.
There's something, on the tip of my tongue. I feel like I saw something at a film festival in the past 2 years that fits this description that I talked about, but I guess I'm never gonna fucking remember, so I'll remember it in a week or something. I don't know.
Maybe Zola? Is that what you're thinking of? Zola's kind of like that.
No, it was not Zola. It was something that was actual documentary with recreated parts.
Yeah, to me that's like a docudrama, like Tower. That's my definition of a docudrama. Yeah.
So what was the show he was talking about specifically? Does it fit that definition?
This Cleopatra, it's a movie, I think. I haven't heard too much about it. There's drama about it or something because of the casting.
Jada Pinkett Smith.
That sounds right.
Blanket Smith.
Looked like my ex-wife.
Documentary series. Okay, yeah, I see what's going on. So this is kind of a docudrama. It looks like they're interviewing people about the figure. So, I mean, yeah, I would argue that there's probably a propensity towards less emphasis on the actual filmmaking qualities when you're doing it in part documentary style compared to something that's just like a biopic, however you want to call it. But I would never go as far as to say something absolutist like there's never any good performance, because I'm sure we can think of some at some point. And those Tower is a great movie. You know, how are we to judge the performance of a voice acting?
Yeah, fantastic.
I don't know.
Yeah, right. Exactly. It's animated. Yeah.
I'm sure there's some.
Mm-hmm. I feel like that's a good answer. We answered it well enough. We covered like the broad definition of it. A couple good movies in there.
Mm-hmm. All right. We've got a film recommendation for the next episode, and we have decided this is a group recommendation. All three of us just were like, yeah, this is what we should be talking about. Yeah. We're doing Birdman, because we will all be watching The Flash. So we decided we would like to talk about Birdman in the same episode. No 4K, unfortunately, whatever. But who knows if that's ever going to happen. Probably at some point. But yeah, I'm excited to revisit it. It's, it feels like it's time anyway. So
so
it's time.
It's time. So if you don't want to be spoiled for Birdman 2014, our third Iñárritu recommendation, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Morse Paros, Revenant, yeah.
Then watch it before the next episode comes out. These episodes come out every 2 weeks. You can listen to them early by going to sardonicast.com, sign up for premium. It's only $2 a month. Also, patreon.com/sardonicast will get you the same thing. Listen to it early, support the show, keep us from being Michelle Williams and Wendy and Lucy.
Wendy.
Just teetering on that edge right now. I don't know if...
Yeah, I'll be like Wendy and Lucy with my dog out there. Yeah. So you got to support the show.
Ralph's going to have to get rid of his dog.
Yeah, I'm going to have to steal dog food.
Yeah. And a new dog.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good.
Anyway, we got merch. Links in the description. There's a Sardonicast highlights channel on YouTube. You should check out, subscribe, hit the bell. Subscribe and hit the bell on YouTube for the regular channel also. Karsten, would you like to plug anything? Where can people find you?
You can find me at Karsten Runquist on YouTube, self-titled.
How the fuck do you spell that?
It's a Karsten and Runquist, no D. Some people think it's Runquist, but it's just Run and then Quist.
How do you spell that?
Runquist.
Thank you.
And then... yeah, that's it. I don't need anybody following me on Letterboxd, to be honest. That's not a flex.
Fuck him.
That's a please don't follow. Stop following.
Damn.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
Of course.
This is amazing.
Thanks for coming on. That was fun.
No, it's been a pleasure. Great episode.
Yeah.
It's so great. Yeah.
Thank you for coming.
All right. Have a happy 1000th planet, everybody. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye. 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 Bye.
Bye.
Bye.